Okay, this is the top one here, and once again I've forgotten my pencil. Hang on one second. So here's what I need to do. As you can see here, if I were to just line this up with this face flush on the top here, my tenon is going to have to be a little bit offset. So here's the one shoulder cut is right there, and the other one is down here, much smaller, about half the size. So I want to have a little wiggle room. I want to be able to adjust this up or down just a little bit. So I'm going to take these lines. So this is going to be, let me see if I can show you this quickly here. This is going to be the one tenon cut here, and this is going to be the other one, and the other shoulder cut, I should say, not tenon cut. So you can see the difference here. This is the waist on the top, and this is the waist on the bottom. So I'm going to have to do bottoms first, or whatever, and then adjust my blade height for the next cut. So let me get this one set up. I think I'll do this one first. Let me get the angle of my blade set to this angle right here, which will be easy to do. I'll just use my piece as my angle gauge, setup gauge. Then I'll just lower the blade and set my distance. I'm not sure how I'll do that. I think I'll probably just use my miter gauge in this setup here. And I'll just set a stop block so that I can just rotate the piece. No, I won't be able to do that, will I? Yeah, I've got to be on one side of the blade or the other. Anyway, we'll figure it out. I'll get the angle of the blade set up first. What I may end up doing is running this cut on all of them, then this cut. Is that right? Is that going to be the same angle? Yeah. Then this one. And then set up and do all the others. And I'll also figure out what I need for my long stretchers too. Okay, here's a little trick for you, I guess. I've taken my workpiece and I'm butting up the bottom corner, this corner, to the blade. And so you can see that that's touching. And what that does is, as I bring the blade back to meet the angle, I'm going to push it back over again. There we go. The bottom tends to stay put because it's pushing it back. And then I'll bring it back until it just touches the blade all the way up without daylight. Right there. Yeah. That's good right there. So I'll lock that down. And according to my table saw, it's about 11 degrees, which is about right. That's just kind of a little double check. And that looks good. I like that right there. So I'm going to get my stuff and get it ready to batch all these shoulder cuts. And this one is the tall one, and that's about the same. Yeah, that's about the same as the long one too. So I can run all of these at one time, the bottom anyway. Once I get that height figured out here. So So I'm going to start a little low and work my way up. And I'm going to start my cut away and work my way over. So let me get my miter gauge set up here and we'll get busy. Okay, I didn't think I'd be able to do this, but I can. I can make my one cut, flip it, and make the other. I can't. What I've got to do is get this on the other side of the blade. This cut has to come over here. So we'll try this. We'll do these first. I've got them all set up here, and then the only thing I need to change with this is my stop has to move back, so I can make all of those as well. So that's good. I'm very, very close to this. So I'm going to run this and see. I don't have a micro adjust in this thing, but I'm going to see what I can do here with the way it's set up this way. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make the one cut, and I'll do the cleanup afterwards. I'll get the stop out of the way and then just make multiple cuts to clean it up. So there we go. Suppose I could be doing it with my dado blade, but we'll just turn it. back to do these. This is just ever so slightly shy of that shoulder here. This cut that I established that way. So I'll just clean that a little bit up with a chisel. But that looks good to me. So I'll set those aside. I'm gonna set this one here. I've got my pencil line established for the depth of cut on this. And we'll see where we come up on that. Now, incidentally, you see me wearing this Band-Aid. When I was cutting these, it didn't go without incident. I guess I'll be completely honest with you on that. One of these cheek cuts here, I thought I'd cleared the blade, but when I came back, it was still in there, and the blade caught it and spun it back and came up and hit my hand, and then bounced up into my cheek. But just a little nick, no big deal. But it wasn't, I didn't have it. I should have checked to make sure the cheek was clear here, and I just assumed it was, and that's what happens when you make assumptions. It comes back to bite you. So I think that looks pretty good. Let me run this one. It may be just a smidgen too high, but we'll find out here. There, let's see. These are all the same. That's the same. Why is that cheek cut a little shorter? Alright, I gotta see what went wrong with that piece. Hang on a second. Okay, for some reason, I've got one of these that is just a hair short. So when I went to register it, that difference showed up here. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, you can see there the difference in the length of that tenon. I hope you can see it right there. And that's what I took off. So I'm gonna, but when I put them up here shoulder to shoulder, they are the same. So it's just the difference in that tenon length. So I've moved my stop back a little bit, and I'm going to run the rest of them at this setting here. the blade alone, the angle is set. All I did was turn my miter gauge around, because with this particular model gauge you'd have to just readjust the whole thing. You can set it up for this side, but I'm not going to take the time to do that. Just took it from this side and went 180 degrees with it. So I've got this side, I think I've got this pretty well dialed in here. Maybe just a little bit more. Just to be safe. And then when I flip it, it's going to have a little, it's going to leave a little more of a shoulder on this side. That's because I'm just off a hair for some reason. I don't know what it is, but so let me make these cuts. I'll run a couple here quick. Clean a couple of these up and see what kind of fit I have, and then I'll be right back. Okay, not too bad a fit. I'm flush on the top here, and this one is nice and tight on the bottom. Except for this one right here, which is the one I overcut. So I'll have to do a little bit of a repair work on that because I do need to use that stretcher. But otherwise it looks good. So what I've got, and I should have done this, but they only go together one way basically. This one has to go in this way or 180 degrees, but these are flush. And they're just a little bit off in the back. The back, just that's the difference in thickness and material. But this is the fit I want. If I'd have marked these with an X, I'd have known which way to put them together. So I have to figure out the match when I put them together. So I'm going to make all my A-frames, label them, you know. So this is, I got a pair now done over here. And then once I get them all made, then I'll take and make my crosses so that I can put them together. So those two look good. I'll try a few more here, or the rest, and I'll report back to you.